with late game execution.
No, ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
What's up, YouTube? Franchise Sports TV back again with another video. So, take you to a little story right quick. Story time. So, I wasn't even planning on making this video, right? I was planning on transferring some files around, moving some files around to make space onto one of my hard drives because it's just not enough space anymore on one of my computers. So, I was doing that. I wanted to have some background sound when I was doing it. So I turned on YouTube, right? I turn on YouTube, scroll down, and I see a video, and it's captioned saying, "Did Steph Curry damage?" Oh, dude, let me rephrase it. Did Steph Curry do more damage to the NBA, or do damage to the NBA? And it's a video from Rob Parker and his. Dang it! What the heck is this freaking other radio host's name? I forgot his name. I call him the Lestan, even though he's Lestan and less these days. But yeah, they was two discussing on did Steph Curry really ruin the NBA? They started off talking about the All-Star Weekend, how LeBron has ducked the slam dunk contest, and how Steph Curry has participated in the three-point contest multiple times. You remember how the slam dunk contest used to be the pinnacle of All-Star Weekend. Now it's the reverse with the three-point contest. But they had something interesting to say, what kind of ruined the style of play in the NBA. And they point their fingers at Steph Curry. I think this all started because of a tweet that was on Twitter that everybody saw, and it kind of picked up steam. But they discussed, was Steph Curry the reason why the style of play in the NBA is so three-point orientated? So, I'll let them talk about it.
Game. Because, Kelvin, I'm dead serious when I say this. I think Steph Curry has done more harm to the NBA than anyone. And I say it not that he did it on purpose or set out to do it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think
he didn't do it intentionally.
Intentionally. It's unintentional. But I could look at two things. We could talk about, A, the All-Star game, and we could talk about NBA basketball in general. And in both cases, Steph Curry is the reason why we aren't happy. We aren't happy that the NBA All-Star game is 200 to 200 because nobody does anything but take threes. Mm-hmm. Right? All threes, 200 to 200. I saw a stat somewhere the other day. Rob G, you never saw that, found it, right? Last year, Kelvin, I don't know if you showed it to me. Only 3 fouls were called in the All-Star game last year.
Yeah, I showed you that. Yeah.
Didn't you show that to me?
Yeah, I showed you that. It was like 80-something and 70 fouls in like 1985 or something. And it was all the way down to 3.
I mean, why are officials even there? Save money on officials. And the NBA, we know this game turned into a three-point fest. And that's the reason we aren't watching the same way. I don't care what anybody says. Because Steph was able to make those threes, those logo threes, all that got a lot of people excited. And then all the analytics geeks thought, well, everybody should shoot threes. Threes are better than twos. If we make more threes and you're making twos, we're going to beat you, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody can't make threes. And here's the worst effect by the Steph Curry being such a tremendous three-point shooter is that look how many bad games there are now, Kelvin, with the blowouts. If you're off on the threes, it's a 40-point blowout, right? We saw this year the Warriors lose by 40 points in San Francisco. Every night, there are a handful of games that are so lopsided, and all you got to do is go look at the stat box, right, box score, and look at the threes made and the threes missed. And usually, 99% of the time, it's somebody having a bad night from three. So that's why I say Steph has done more harm to the NBA with the three ball than LeBron has done by not participating.
So I've never wanted to give somebody a compliment followed by a telling them the reason for the demise of something. And that's exactly what you were trying to say there, what you were saying. And the reason why a lot of people have to say this about Steph. It is the ultimate compliment to him that people have become copycats of him. But I will say, I think he was the cherry on top, Rob, of something that was already brewing. And I'm going to go analytics. So I think he was that final straw, his greatness, his ability to do something we'd never seen, his innovative way of shooting threes and shooting it from places that you would be on the bench if you shot before. But I think this was a slow tick up to getting to him to finally be the straw that broke the camel's back. Let me walk you to why I think this. If you look at Mike D'Antoni, he started to run this, hey, get a shot up before 20 seconds in the shot clock. Go, 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 go with the Phoenix Suns in the 2004, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-ish era of Steve Nash. Go, 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 go. Take a three, take a shot, fast break. And he started the European way of doing things. Faster, you get more possessions, you start to have an ability to score more cracks at this thing. At the end of the day, it's the team that has more points on the scoreboard that wins. And it worked for the Suns in that they won a bunch of games. Steve Nash won a bunch of MVPs. They didn't ultimately win the ring, but it worked. He was successful, coach of the year, and it was a thing for a while. Even worked when he was with the Rockets and James Harden. Go, 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 shoot threes. Go, fast pace, fast pace. So I think we started to see this thing start to grow, and get faster and faster as far as the idea of taking threes, the idea of taking shots that normally you wouldn't want to do. So much so that it started to change the way the San Antonio Spurs, they were the most grinded out, beat you 82-78 team. Then they started moving the ball. They started shooting threes. They started to use a more European, more faster style of offense. Then comes this babyface assassin who did it better. He did it slicker. He did it fresher. He did it with style.
Just never made any big shots when it mattered. But
he was chewing on the mouthpiece. He started shooting threes and looking back, walking back before they went in. And by the way, his team started winning. And they started winning. And then he won MVPs. And then they won finals, NBA finals. So I think it was a slow build. I think everybody says Steph Curry, but I think we ignore the slow build that led to him, because now you had the perfect marriage for this. Because you had the numbers, the analytics. Analytics say a three is better than two. Analytics say, why take a two, a mid-range two, when you could? And then you had the actual personified version of it in Steph Curry. And then he started to be successful, and everyone else became copycats, because what do we know in sports? They're copycat leagues. And the bad part, where I would say it's not his fault, but the thing started to become ruined, is that, Rob, it goes down to the younger level. So a lot of the guys you're seeing doing these things now is because they were in high school watching him. And I coached my daughter's 5- and 6-year-old team a couple years back, and these kids are coming barely past half-court, ball big as them, Rob, chucking up half-quarters. Chucking up threes, not trying to cross over like the and one area, work on their handles, not trying to hit the mid-range like Kobe or Jordan or Larry Bird. They're chucking up threes at 6 years old, barely can even do it.
How many?
What they said, you know what? I have to agree with it. I agree that Steph Curry, not directly, but indirectly, due to how great he could shoot that ball into that hoop, I do agree that indirectly he has, I would say, ruined the NBA. Ruined the NBA. I'll just say ruined the NBA for now. He indirectly ruined the NBA, but what's the word I'm looking for right now? I can't even think right now. I'm so sorry. He just said it. All these statisticians and analytic people, there you go, analytic people out here saying that the three-pointer shot was a more valuable shot than a mid-range shot, two-pointer shot, and agreeing with that this started way before Steph Curry was even at Davidson. This started with the Phoenix Suns, because we all remember the Phoenix Suns, how fast they used to run up and flying down the court with Steve Nash. It was that run and gun, as they used to call it. It was an exciting way of playing basketball, European, but because D'Antoni coached he coached in Italy? Yeah, he coached in Italy, I think. But him coaching overseas in Europe, he adopted that style of playing, brought him back to the Phoenix Suns. And yeah, it was fun. It was fun watching Steve Nash run up and down the court, throwing lobs to Amari Stoudemire and Sean Marion, but it lacked defense. And that's why they never won, because they didn't really play any defense. And that kind of started with that. I remember that Spurs kind of adopted that. Dude, Spurs remember adopted. The thing about the Spurs, they was a little bit more, especially that last year they won. Last year they was great. Went to the finals. They was a little bit more not articulate, but a little bit more patient with the ball. That ball would be passed. There's a video out. There's so many videos of it, but that ball would be passed around at least 10 times within 24 seconds before a shot was taken. I remember they used to run Boris Diaw with the pick and roll. He set up the pick and roll, pass, especially when Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, and Mono Gentleman got older. It was pass. And that's how they would break down teams. And that's kind of what Stephen Curry and their earlier Warriors teams did. It was pick and roll. Somebody would be left open. Dump it down to the other shooters that was on the team. It was so hard holding Steph Curry because, for one, especially when he's younger, he was quick with his feet. They'll set picks for him. He'll just take the shot out of nowhere. And he was so quick with his release, it was hard to stop that when he was younger. It's still hard to stop to this day. And therefore, everybody else thought that they can do this too. Don't know why. I don't know why everybody thought they can shoot like Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. And that's what we have today. And thus ruin the style of play in the NBA where everybody think they got to take 49 threes. Wasn't it just a game a couple of weeks ago between the Wolves and Celtics that it was almost 100 3-pointers taken in one game because the Celtics live and die by the three? They basically used what the Warriors did back 10 years ago and used it for themselves. Now it's been somewhat successful. They did get a ring off it, but also at the same time, you live by that three, you will die by that three. And it's also affecting the younger players. When I mean younger players, I'm talking about players not in the NBA. I'm talking about not so much college, but you see these kids. I don't know how many of you guys still play pickup basketball, but you see some of these guys out here. The only thing they want to do is take threes. They want to jack up threes out of nowhere when it's not even a good time to shoot a three. Especially when they only have the core arm strength, shoulder strength, and leg strength to shoot a three from the logo. These dudes ain't working. These kids ain't working on the proper muscles to even do that. They don't even have the proper footwork to even do that. Some do. I do admit these younger kids, they can shoot. They got perfect form and everything. But ask them to do something else other than shoot a three. Ask them to sit down there and post up someone. Ask them to shoot a mid-range when they need it. Just the other day, a couple of days ago, I was playing with the younger generation, Generation Z, the younger version of Generation Z. And none of them, we only needed 1 point. None of them, and I'm not even lying about this. None of them could even get down the post up, hook shot, post up, mid range, none of that. They couldn't do none of that. Only thing they knew how to do was shoot a three or try to attempt to make a layup, but that didn't work either. Some of these guys' games are one-dimensional. It's the only thing they know how to shoot from three. They didn't work on any other skills. And yeah, it's not, like I said before, it's not so much on Steph Curry. It's not entirely his fault, per se. It's just everybody wanted to be like him. Just like everybody wanted to be like Jordan. Everybody wanted to be like Derrick Rose, run up and down the court and try to be as athletic as possible. didn't work for some, never worked for some, because it was never. Derrick Rose in his prime was athletic as hell, and none of these people that I seen trying to be like Derrick Rose couldn't do it. It's just like some people cannot be Steph Curry. So yeah, I agree with Rob Parker and them on this one. Um, I say that the analytics of the 3-pointer did ruin the NBA. Now the other stuff that's wrong with the NBA, with the low management and entitlement and everything else, and all the other gimmicky stuff that's been going on, there's two other people that need to be really blamed for that, but we ain't gonna say their names. Now, will we? We already know who those two other ones are. F it. We already know one is Adam Silver. We don't need to guess the other one. We already know who the other one is. But yeah. That's all I gotta say about it. Tell me what you guys think.